Happy Valentine's, live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
It is hashtag Valentine's Day. We're not going to go Thursday. Look at all the colors here, you guys.
Valentine's Day.
We are definitely celebrating some love, and more love on this Valentine's Day in rainy Los Angeles.
Feels like Seattle.
I mean,
feels like Seattle or Pittsburgh right now, doesn't it?
Pittsburgh. We're going to Pittsburgh.
I think it's all hashtag mood, but I am feeling so much love, especially from our guests this morning here in the studio. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello. Oh, the guys behind the art of charm, AJ and Johnny, are in the house. Good morning, Mr. Charming.
Hello. How are y'all?
Well, we are excited that you are here sharing your Valentine's Day morning with us. And here at Good Morning LaLaLand, we like to know what your morning routine is. So how do you start your day?
For myself, it is definitely waking up about 5, 3 cups of coffee, and then hitting the gym as pumped up as I can be.
And what is one nice thing people can say, considering you're the art of charm, right? To share the love on this Valentine's Day, besides the cliche, Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, he did.
Yes. That's right.
Did you see that?
Well, definitely taking interest in someone else instead of focusing on yourself today is important.
Yes, it really is. So how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, I'm only 1 cup of coffee and then Barry's boot camp.
Okay.
Yeah,
very popular here in LA.
Little Barry's love today. Kenneth Clark is in the house. We heard his hits at the top of the show. Good morning, Kenneth.
How are you?
Good morning. So, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine like?
Man, well, the first thing I like to do when I get up is I'd like to pray and just, center myself there and stretch. Obviously, just, loosen up some of the old knees in there. But yeah, I just like to just stretch and just kind of just focus in and just, get warmed up for the day. So yeah.
Love it. Stretch the body, stretch the face.
Stretch the body, the face, the elbow.
Oh yeah.
The glutes.
Susan Bratton is in the house. She is looking gorgeous in red this morning. Good morning, Susan.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm so glad to be here on this beautiful LA day, sharing what I hope will be a really fun Valentine's Day technique about a melting hug. Thanks for having me on to do that.
Whoa. Good.
I'm very curious about this melting hug. So, Susan, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, my gorgeous husband of 25 years, woo! Every morning for 25 years, he's brought me the most delicious latte. And what I do is I lie in bed, I go on Instagram and look at everything while I'm lying in red light because I like photobiomodulation, red light therapy to make me feel so good. And then I get up and I put in my 3 miles, so I get 20 miles a week in my walking. That's what I do.
Wow.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
Good way to start the day.
Well, yeah, a lot of people in Amsterdam right now are really appreciating that comment around the red light district there. They're feeling a little less guilty today. Awesome.
Award-winning filmmaker Marianne is in the house. Good morning, Marianne.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and congratulations on your Oscar nomination.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is so exciting, so incredible. Yeah.
So incredible. So what's your routine? How do you start your day?
Well, I wish I could do all these things. I have kids, so I get up and I get them ready to go to school. I drink 2 or 3 coffees as well. And then if I have time, I work out and start my day really early.
Well, thank you all so much for starting your day with us today and sharing your love on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's, you guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Look at these flowers, you guys. Rob Mack runs in the rain. I mean, you can't even imagine. They're this is the biggest longest red roses I've ever seen in my
They
life.
are
I love them.
almost as tall as I am. I don't know where you even found this expansive bouquet, Rob, but thank you for
You're so
being
welcome.
such a gentleman and always just showering us with love.
You are so welcome, and I'm so deeply grateful and so appreciative of you two. So, you know, that's just a small token of appreciation. I wish I could do it every day. But, you know.
Your presence is like this long stem bouquet of roses each and every morning,
Thanks,
Rob.
Jess. I appreciate that.
So true.
I appreciate
We're
that.
so grateful. We know we get a special shout out to some more flowers delivered to
Yes,
Dr. Erin.
From Jenny Taylor, everything Jenny Taylor Photography. Amazing. So beautiful to have such great girlfriends in your life, right?
Yes, it is. Wow.
An ambassador for Soul Society also now.
Oh, phenomenal.
Speaking of a little Galentine's, I was recently at an event and a woman I'd never even met before this past weekend said, "You look like you're one of us." I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And she said, "You're beautifully empowered, and I like you." And I said, "Well, I like you too."
Let's date.
Yeah. And we were browsing over jewelry, and she goes, "You need to be part of this tribe." And she gave me this necklace with the Native American symbol for sisterhood on it.
Oh, wow.
Well, let's see it.
Isn't
two
it
X's.
beautiful? It's 2 X's, which is so neat because I'm always XX everything, which is kiss kiss, right? So I was so grateful that a complete stranger was so loving and so welcoming. So I really do encourage you, even if you don't know who you're standing next to in the grocery store line or at the store today picking up the roses, please be sure to share the love.
Oh, I love that, Jess.
Right.
Yeah, it's the random acts of kindness and love that I appreciate the most.
For sure,
You know what I mean?
right? I
Yeah.
mean, Valentine's is so fascinating. I was thinking back, I mean, just to get a little bit vulnerable, I was married on Valentine's Day.
Really?
And for years after, you know, I remember even that night, it was a tough night. I remember getting married and at the end of the night, knowing that it just wasn't right for me, and it was so sad. It was one of the saddest things at the end of the night. I just knew it was like a
On
really
the day?
On the day, I knew it wasn't right for me. And bless my exes, we were friends now, and we both were just immature. We didn't know what we were doing, really and truly. But so Valentine's Day for years was a hard day for me, you know, and. Now it's like Valentine's Day is this beautiful, I mean, I just feel like it's every day is Valentine. Every day should be a day of love. Every day should be the expression and loving and celebrating love. But so now Valentine's Day, I have like no pain around. It's really amazing, you know?
Yeah.
To just have a beautiful Valentine's Day. And when you don't need it anymore, then all the roses show up.
Yeah, it's true. Literally true.
Right?
It's the art of allowing.
So true.
Absolutely true. Such a good point around that. I firmly believe that friendship is the highest form of love.
For sure.
You know, and we all can be friendly, and we all have friends, right?
Right.
And if not, you can find some. We'll be your friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
So speaking of the history, you know, it's interesting because we have all these holidays, all this celebration, and Valentine's is interesting. It actually was by Saint Valentine. It was celebrated in something like 1496. It was in the 3rd century, and Saint Valentine was a priest, and he actually would marry Christian couples like behind the scene, and it was against the law to help anyone that was Christian back in that day because it was a real, you know, hearsay, if you will. And he went to prison. And he actually fell in love with the jailer's daughter,
love.
Oh, wow.
right? And the history and legend has it that he wrote her a love letter and said, "From your Valentine," on the day that he was
Wow.
yeah,
Oh my
executed.
goodness.
Uh-huh.
I've got some very cynical clinical psychologist friends who would have a heyday, like they'd have a field day with a metaphor around prison and love. How many people feel like they're in prison when
And
they're
the
in love?
sadness, the heartache
Yes,
of Valentine's Day, and how we have to dramatize it.
It's a fascinating story. Didn't know the history of that.
Right?
Keep that in mind. Huh.
Well, again, in just celebrating our love in our community, we had an incredible time last night. The launch of the latest issue of Marie Westwood magazine.
Okay.
On the cover, gracing
Beautiful.
it, Hananoka. She was recently a guest on our show, and they did this gorgeous spread of yours truly.
What?
Good morning,
Love that.
LALALAND.
Who are
So
those
great.
good-looking people right
Right?
there?
We are so grateful for the community that has really just embraced us and continue to support us. And we each got
Look how beautiful.
our
Wow.
own pages.
Jess, that picture
Those
is
are amazing. Those
fantastic.
pictures are so good.
Thank
of
you. Thank you so much. It was just so incredible to be included. The event took
Oh, it
place
looked great,
last night at the Royals. We have some footage from behind the scenes of us on the red carpet. It was so cool though because at least half the room had actually been on our show.
That's true, including Angela Madden, my sister.
Including Angela Madden.
But you're so right about that, Jess. It's a packed house.
Oh, packed house. It was fabulous. In the rain, we all wore the Royals. Hisham and Faye, the
Your
co-founders.
shoes, OMG, they were the life of the party.
Red bottoms right there?
The red bottoms,
There you
that's
go,
right.
sis.
My Louboutins came out to play, and it was fabulous. Erin, you look so
$1,800
gorgeous.
dress.
You guys look
right
amazing.
there.
In the Royals. They are handmade in Paris, and the Royals have a shop here in Beverly Hills. So if you're not in France, but you're here in LA, you can go check it out. Rob, you looked hot.
I know. I somehow magically forgot that blazer today to bring it back to the I just love the fit. It was so great.
Oh, look at
Still
Lauren
in my closet.
Powers is there. Great DJ. There was Lamborghini champagne. I mean, it was as luxurious
Look at
as
that
it
dress.
sounds.
Wow.
Oh, Hananoka. Larry Namer, the founder of E! Entertainment, was there. He's a huge support and community member.
Rachel McCord.
Rachel McCord. Rick McCord.
Yes.
Oh my God, Rick McCord.
I know. It's all good. It's all good. He could receive that. He's a man. He can receive that. Yeah.
Oh,
He's all
my
man.
wild shoes. I was having a Lady Gaga moment. But I must say, I think the best dress of the party was Angela Madden official.
Oh, wow. She's going to lose her mind over that, Jess, because she really loves you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
If you didn't meet Angela Madden official yesterday on the show, go back and rewatch the interview because it's Rob's sister.
She was so
We
excited
love
to be
you,
here.
Angela.
She loves you guys just
So
as much.
sweet.
Yeah.
So
don't wanna
full
leave
of
her.
light and love, this family. Really,
So appreciate
truly.
that. Do you want to give a quick shout out and send a little love to Entertainment Tonight? Did a little special yesterday. Lots of people around the holidays struggling with depression, particularly Justin Bieber. So he's seeking treatment for depression. Kudos to him and best of luck, because I know it's really, really tough, you know, when you're
Yeah.
experiencing depression, sadness, loneliness.
They say that half the battle is just recognizing whatever problems you're
Yep.
going through. So if you can just get real with yourself and not be in delusion, half the problem is just recognizing and saying, I'm going to make a decision. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of Justin Peck was on our show yesterday, and he is an incredible race car driver, entrepreneur. I mean, he is man's man. And he was very vulnerable with us about his experience with depression, bipolar disorder. So I'm just so grateful that, you know, men right now are feeling the courage to share their journeys and their stories and really have this conversation.
Oh my goodness,
Right.
absolutely. Because historically, men have mostly just sought out drugs and drinking. That's usually the way men
Right.
deal with depression, is that they drink it away, or they try to drink it away. That, of course, doesn't work.
Right.
So it's great when.
Hence,
you're
we're
open.
having our first Soul Society that's really open to men and women. We're going to have an evening of conscious conversation March 5th. And anyone who's not come to the events, the first event is free because we want to open up our hearts and the world to a conscious conversation for both men and women.
That's right. Spirit is genderless.
And guess who's going to be speaking?
Uh-oh. Watch out.
Yours truly.
Watch
So
out.
on the Valentine's Day, Rob, how can we best love and support the men in our lives?
Oh, wow. Great question. I think by being happy. No question, being happy. So the way I think about love is that, you know, love really is just happiness. Like happiness and love look like two different things, but they're the same thing. When your happiness is ingoing and it's introverted, we call it happiness. When your happiness is outgoing and it's extroverted or shared with other people, we call it love. But it's the same energy. And so lots of folks try to put themselves in this position where they're loving other people, but they're empty inside. And that kind of love comes with an expectation of reciprocity, expectation of reward. That is not giving from the overflow, that is actually trying to get.
Oh,
right?
I hear you. It's like an ending battle to try and get love out there. It's just,
Oh my gosh, no, it's hopeless.
It doesn't work.
And it's silly, it's ridiculous. You are the source, tap into and in, turn on,
Right.
game over. You know.
Why did they teach us this in
Oh my
junior
gosh,
high?
well,
we would have had
that's
a much
true.
easier time through high school.
But what would we do with the rest of our lives? I have no
We
problem
were-
to solve.
Yeah, trying to figure this out during adulting, but it's so important to remember that self-care and self-love is not a luxury. That's why I'm so excited. The love is coming in hot.
Right?
this
Yes.
morning.
We got dings coming in. The universe is like, yes, yes, yes.
That's right.
Yes,
Confirmation.
Thank you. No, but I just wanted to share that too, that really take time for yourself to make sure you're not only meeting your own needs, but filling your own desires and not looking for the outside world to do that for you. Whether it's, you know, having a healthy meal like Splendid Spoon,
Yeah.
we've got Nicole, the founder of that, on the show today, or taking time to buy flowers for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the world to give it to you. Get what you need.
Oh my gosh, totally, Jez. Love that point. Also, if you're feeling lonely, sad, depressed, suicidal, any of those things, reach out to a professional, because there are folks like Dr. Erin, Jeslyn, and I who have dedicated our entire lives to helping people be happy and at peace and love themselves. Like that's all I've done with my whole life. Like I don't know how to do anything, but that one thing
Right.
I do.
And it's because we've all suffered.
Oh, of course. You
It's great.
kidding?
It's not like
I got suicide test marks on my arm still. This day I've been putting cocoa butter on them for years.
Yeah,
Just a
it's no
reminder.
joke. We
Yeah.
know, it's what do they say? The difference between someone who's religious versus spiritual is spirituality. Like religious people believe that there's a heaven and hell. Spiritual people know there's a heaven and hell, but also not denouncing any religion. Whatever works for people, for sure.
Yeah, but you make a good point, which is the difference between a thought in your head and an experience in your heart.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about experience.
We know hell. That's why we know hell. For sure.
That's absolutely
Well,
true.
let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk to our amazing guests about their love in their life. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to your home for talk. I'm Jezza Moyer, and this is Ever Talk TV, America's first live streaming video talk show platform. This week on Ever Talk, our shows were filled with positivity, enlightenment, insta fame, insta scandals, and binge-worthy conversations. Let's take a look.
Today's guest dislikes titles. Although he is an amazing, talented actor and a real-life Viking, he prefers to be valued by how many belly laughs he can get you to have in the shortest amount of time.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Ziering, and this is the Housewives of Hollywood. You might think you know the Housewives, but it's not rosé all day, Pilates, and finding the best nannies. It's women supporting women, and today I have a very special guest, and we might have to change the name just to Housewives of Beverly Hills for Tori Spelling. Tori, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, anything for you.
Hello, I'm Lauren Francesca.
I'm Brad Grunberg.
And you're watching
How to Start.
I ask all my guests, and you know I'm about to ask you, what is your golden secret?
I mean, it's so simple. You know, you just be the person you want to be around.
Who knew, that like 20 years later we'd be running a beauty empire together, empowering women everywhere.
But we need to
globally.
know, since we have Ian on, is there any really good stories from the past that you guys are willing to share with everyone today?
Oh my.
I mean,
Well, now that you say that, as his friend, I cannot answer that question.
Go ahead.
Plead the
What do you got?
fifth.
What do you got?
Oh, I got a lot.
Oh, do you?
No. He's so great. Like, and we were honestly, like, outside of work, we were really good friends. Like, we used to go out and hang out, and he's a good boy. He's a mad dancer, I gotta tell you. You still are, though. But he used to bust out some moves.
I can say this. First of all, people don't know, but you're beautiful on screen, but you're hotter in person.
Thank you.
And we need more Maria Conchita Alonsos in this world.
I think so.
You do. You give your heart. You have this talent, but you give and you help people.
Because if people knew how good it feels when you help, when you are saving a life, when you're helping to save a life, if they knew how good it feels,
it feels
just
better
even to
to
make you feel good.
I know.
You're gonna make me cry now.
No, that's okay.
It's just it's the truth.
Mic check, mic check.
Well, thank you so much for coming and doing my job for me.
Hey, no problem. You know, I'm really excited about it. I love going on shows and taking over as the host. It's really fun. And
I really love it. I'm just going to sit back.
Just sit
if
back.
you could just ask yourself and answer
I
some
will.
questions.
I'm going to ask myself some questions. You can just kind of sit there and react with your face as I go through.
I'm introducing an Emmy Award-winning host. I better frickin' get this right.
You knocked it out of the park. You did a great job. I'm so good at what I do, aren't I?
Okay. I hope you're filming right now.
These are the things we have to get.
The outtakes are the best.
I know.
We kind of like having her here.
Yeah, she's like, so much good morning, LALALAND. We've got things to do.
Room to your set today.
That's right.
I love that.
So tell us about the proper way to actually taste this wine.
Put it in your mouth. I love you. That's my kind of winemaker.
LOL. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at EverTalk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. EverTalk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at EverTalk TV. I'm Jezza Moyer, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. On this day of love, we've all been so influenced by films, movies, and all the above, and so we wanted to bring in Marianne Farley, who is nominated for Oscar and a filmmaker, incredible, in from Montreal. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having
And
me.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's crazy, isn't it?
So I'm sure this has been an epic journey, right?
Yeah.
And now it's all the glitz and glam and the red carpet. But take us back through it all. I mean, the trials, the triumphs of Marguerite, your short film.
Of Marguerite. Well, I've been doing this for like over 20 years because I'm an actress firstly, and so Marguerite is my second short film, and I started writing it about 3 years ago. It took about 6 months to get financing together, and then we shot it, and it took actually once we started submitting it to festivals, it took like 6 months before anyone picked it up. And I was going, maybe my film is not good. And I was really starting to question myself, and question the film's qualities. And it's a question of timing. I think at the right festival, decides to present your film, and then it's just it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And then so for the Oscars, it's the same thing. The film won at Rhode Island Film Festival, which made it eligible for the Oscars, and we sent it in, and this is now, we have a nomination. It's amazing. It's a magical moment.
Amazing.
So what did you do to celebrate your nomination?
What did I do to
It's all a blur now, isn't it?
It's been, it's so much work. It's so much work. Just like being nominated is a lot of work.
It is a lot.
And getting the nomination and just, doing interviews and stuff.
But it's really important. You're representing LGBTQ, I can never say it right,
Yeah.
and women in film.
Yes, absolutely.
Like very, very important. So this is not just about the film. It's not just about all of it. This is representing something that's so important for all of us.
Yes.
Knowing our equality, knowing that we're all rising together. What is that like for you?
I feel like that's a lot of pressure. It's amazing, and I think it's really important. There are not a lot of women filmmakers nominated this year. And I also really feel like things are starting to move. Things are, it takes time for these things to start happening. And same thing for the LGBTQ aspect of the film. The community has supported the film since the very beginning. And although, LGBTQ rights have come a long way, there's still, you never know. You never know what may happen. We have to keep fighting for these causes that are really important.
Right.
What sparked the creation of this film?
I think just
Why'd you do it?
thinking about the difference between my generation and my grandmother's generation, and how, as a woman, had I fell in love with a woman, because it's about, it's about the fact that this woman should have been gay, but she was never able to express it. She was in love with a woman. But that was like in the 1950s, where that was forbidden. In Canada, it was illegal until 1969 to be gay. Like, you could go to jail for it. I'm sure it was the same here. But,
Wow. It brings us to the story of Valentine's, St. Valentine's, the same thing, right? Where they go, whether it's time in history where you can't support Christian marriage, or now it's gay marriage, whatever that is, and I believe everyone has the right to love. So tell us a little bit about the film.
So basically, it's this, Marguerite is an elderly woman who suffers from diabetes, and she's a very lonely woman. She has no friends, no family, and her nurse comes by every day and takes care of her. And at one point, she realizes her nurse is in love with a woman, and that stirs things up for her. And so she sees herself in this younger woman's experience, and yeah.
So we have the trailer, right?
Right. Let's take a look at it.
Vous urinez pas beaucoup pour ce que vous buvez? Avez-vous mal au ventre ou des nausées? Madame Marguerite?
Hein?
Avez-vous mal au ventre? Avez-vous des nausées?
Ah non.
On va prendre votre pression.
Peux-tu me mettre la lotion?
Ben oui.
Like she's never been touched before,
Yeah.
huh? Just in a loving way.
Yeah.
So nice.
It's
so
a metaphor
important.
too, right? Metaphor for being touched on a deeper
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder, what was the most challenging and most rewarding part of this Reductionist project for you?
I think working with, I mean, Beatrice, who plays Marguerite, is an amazing actress. She's quite a famous actress in Quebec. And, you know, working with someone who's like, I think she was close to 80 when we shot the film, is quite a challenge, but it really wasn't, because she was like the first one on set and she was the last one to leave. And she was in the bathtub for like 5-6 hours while we were shooting. And she was like, no, it's not a problem, it's not a problem. She's like the most incredible woman I've ever met. She's really, and so talented. And yeah, so that should have been a challenge, but in the end it wasn't, you know. It was quite inspiring for me. I thought, this is the kind of woman I want to be when I grow up.
Totally. So now what are you most excited about right now?
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm really trying to take it like day by day, second
breath
by
by
second,
breath.
by breath.
Right.
Saying, oh, the Oscars, it's so huge, like the red carpet, wow.
Congratulations. So important. Thank you for representing women and just being authentic for all of us. Thank you so much. Tell us where we can find all your work and follow you personally.
Well, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Marianne Farley. Marguerite as well. We have like social media for the film as well. The film is, Shorts TV is doing a tour of the films right now in theaters, so you can find it there, definitely.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Welcome to your home for talk. I'm Jezza Moyer, and this is Ever Talk TV, America's first live streaming video talk show platform. This week on Ever Talk, our shows were filled with positivity, enlightenment, Insta fame, Insta scandals, and binge-worthy conversations. Let's take a look.
Today's guest dislikes titles. Although he is an amazing, talented actor and a real-life Viking, he prefers to be valued by how many belly laughs he can get you to have in the shortest amount of time.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Ziering, and this is the Housewives of Hollywood. You might think you know the Housewives, but it's not rosé all day, Pilates, and finding the best nannies. It's women supporting women, and today I have a very special guest, and we might have to change the name just to Housewives of Beverly Hills for Tori Spelling. Tori, thank you so much for coming on. Oh my gosh, anything for you.
We kind of like having her here.
Yeah, she's like, so much good morning, LALALAND. We've got things to do.
room to your set today.
That's right.
I love that.
So tell us about the proper way to actually taste this wine.
Put it in your mouth. I love you. That's my kind of winemaker.
LOL. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at Ever Talk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. Ever Talk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at Ever Talk TV. I'm Jezza Moyer, and we'll see you next time. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It is about to get hot in here.
Ooh, okay, that you just gave me permission.
Good morning. If any mamas out there have kids watching, tell us a little bit, Susan, about your expertise.
Well, I call myself the trusted hot sex advisor to millions because I have helped millions of people have more passion, more intimacy, and more connection.
Right, it says in your bio, passion says orgasm skills.
Yes,
we're
orgasm
talking about
skills.
bedroom communication,
communication.
and sexual vitality.
Yes.
And sexual
Okay.
soulmates.
And yes, that's what I'm all about, is the soulmate connection between people. How do you get beyond just having sex to making love? How do you two become one? How do you fall together and the world goes away and you literally touch God in your divine connection?
Right.
That's a whole lot. But you've been married, you mentioned, for 25
25 years. Yes, you heard my latte of the day for 25 years
How
story.
did you personally attract your soulmate?
Well, I think it was my really short skirt.
That helps.
And it was a long time ago. I think I just got incredibly lucky with my husband, but we also learned a lot of skills over the years. And the reason I turned into a sexpert and kind of reinvented myself in that world was that my husband and I almost lost our way in our marriage. We, at one time, about 10 years in, contemplated divorce and said, that's crazy. We're best friends. What's wrong? What happened to our intimacy? And so many people
so
in
common.
long-term monogamous relationships, we're not taught the skills to keep it hot, exciting, deeply connected. And I said, we learned a lot and said, oh my gosh, we need to teach everybody all of these techniques because it's really just knowledge. It's fear and ignorance that keeps us from falling into each other in that connected, soulful way.
Okay, so teach us. We want to know. We're in a relationship, whether we're just beginning, whether we're having that time where we're like, kind of like, should we keep going on with this? What do you do? How do we do this?
Well, it's a lot for a short day. So what I thought I would do is I would talk a little bit about one of my techniques. All my technique, I give away so many things. So there's plenty more where this came from. But I wanted for Valentine's Day to teach you about something called the Soulmate Embrace. Because here's what happens. What happens is that over time, especially in long-term relationships, things happen with partners. So, for example, for women, we have a lot of pain with sexuality, and so after childbirth and things like that, or when we're aging. For men are having more and more difficulty with performance in the bedroom due to things like the toxins in the world, the food, what's in our foods, the GMOs and all those kinds of things, sitting all the time. And so things happen in your relationship that pull you apart. And then you get a little worried about coming back together. You're like, ooh, I don't want to start something I can't finish, or ooh, I'm kind of bored with you, or it's the same old, same old. There's a lot of things that affect that kind of relationship. So there's a lot of things that can be done, but one of the best things is to scale back what you expect in your relationship and start with simple things like holding each other. And what I have found is that most women feel like they need more holding than they get. But they don't necessarily, if things aren't hot and spicy in their sex life, they're not going to be asking to be touched because they're afraid, oh, it's going to turn into something more than I want. And so a lot of holding gets left on the table. And the idea with the Soulmate Embrace is, have you been hugged by a person and they hug you and then they let go as soon as you relax?
That's pretty much everyone.
Although in LA we have a lot of conscious. It's a whole thing. You're like from Venice or Burning Man when you hold on extra long. You're like, this is getting awkward now. It's like great, and then you're like, okay, that was good. Okay. No.
Well, young kids are hugging each other more and more. That's happening, and men are hugging each other more and more. But couples aren't hugging each other more and more. And so the idea is that what you do is you relax in each other's arms, best in bed. You lie down, and it's best to actually have a little bit of clothing on, some comfortable clothing, because if you're going to do a long hug, you could get a little sweaty. So it's nice to have not necessarily all skin on skin. When you lie there, let's just say there's the masculine and the feminine, and anyone can hold those frames, right? It's a gender spectrum, equal opportunity, soulmate embrace hug. And the masculine lies down, and the feminine lies in their arms, and he holds. And he waits for her to relax. Because as women, we're estrogen driven, so we're kind of like scattered and all over the map. And we have to get pulled back into our body through this calming, grounding, long hug. And what we women have to do is just really allow ourselves to relax into our partner's embrace and allow ourselves to be held. And for some women, they literally feel like they have to jump out of, oh, I gotta get out of here, this is too much for me.
They gotta change the load of laundry or something.
Exactly, they gotta change the load of laundry. And so for the masculine, what he wants to do is he wants to really hold her, have him syncopate his heartbeat with hers, have him breathe her, but he can breathe a little more shallow to get her to breathe a little more deeply. He can look in her eyes. And he's going to pet her and soothe her and hold her until I say, you know you've done a good job when there's a little drool coming out, when she's just like, I'm so relaxed now. And what'll happen when you let that hug really sustain is that all of a sudden you'll go, oh, I remembered what I love about you and why I love to be close to you. And so what the Soulmate Embrace is a calming of your nervous systems. You actually generate oxytocin together, which is the bonding hormone. And it allows you to just reset your connection to each other.
So Susan, how would you even pitch this to your partner? Because some partners might not be very warm to receiving, let's soul embrace hug now. I mean, how do you even approach the ask?
Well, I think you have to look at what's going on with your partner. If they're distant with you, you have to get to the root of why they are. It could be that they're angry. It could be that they're having performance issues. There are reasons why, if you're the feminine and you're not getting those holds, that guy is feeling like he has to hold back. And there are things that can be done. Number one, if he's angry, you've got to get to the root of why he's angry. Number two, if he's got performance issues in the bedroom, which is really common now, so common. Oh. What I love about it, though, is that there are things you can do. You know how we do like Botox and microderms and Fraxels and facials and CO2 lasers? There are treatments for men for performance now. One that I love, that I'm thrilled about, that's changing things for guys as young as 30 years old, is something called Gains Wave. It's a treatment. Like we go in and get treatments all the time. Now there are things for guys that actually, essentially what they do is they take the tissue in a man's unit and they regenerate the tissue. Similar to how we regenerate the tissue of our skin. Our bodies actually sustain tiny bits of damage and then heal themselves. So this is a new procedure that's fixing a lot of relationships where there's been distance because a guy's avoiding intimacy because he's got performances. He doesn't want to make a promise he can't keep.
Well, just start with the hug and then we'll see where he needs to go from there, apparently.
Exactly. And what I love is that I've put it into a little ebook at soulmateembrace.com that anyone can have. It's a technique I give away. And it's step by step, because dudes love step by step. So if you're the woman and you want the hug, you can read it and then you can describe it to him. Or you could also go, baby, I got this ebook and I want to try this hug technique. Will you read this and can we practice it? And it does take a little practice to get reconnected in that limbic way again. But that's how I'd approach it. I would just be like, could you hug me like this, please? I have a Valentine's Day request, honey. Could you please hug me like this? And then you'll be addicted to these soulmate embraces, and it will pull you back closer together. It'll make it easier to talk over any issues
I love that.
have.
I've always thought that couples therapy should be just actually holding and cuddling, because we get so into the logical mind and it triggers so much, and it's almost like a reset of just like almost like the universal truth of just coming into that peaceful place and tapping in. And it's so beautiful to do it like that. So tell people, do they work with you one-on-one? Do they take classes? They get your downloads? What does that look like?
Well, mostly I just give away tons of free techniques. I have a whole crazy video channel on YouTube called Better Lover. I dress up as the marriage magician, as the queen of hearts, as the sexy nurse talking about hormones and all kinds of things. I like to get dressed up in crazy costumes and talk about sex. So that's a great place to find me as well.
I love that.
Next time I come, I'll wear a crazy costume for you if you want me to.
I think it's so great, you know, and plus because you've been married for so many years. Shout out to your great husband. And like it sounds like you guys keep it spicy just by bringing all this, you know, just conversation and giving it to the world. So beautiful.
The couple that plays together stays together, especially in the bedroom. You got to keep it fresh by trying new things. And this, I think the Soulmate Embrace is a really good training wheels technique for opening up the conversation about what's going on in the bedroom again.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Susan. Tell everyone where they can find and follow you on social media.
Sure, I'm at Susan Bratton. Super easy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Thank you so
Valentine's
much.
Day. You all look absolutely gorgeous. We did a good job.
I know, right?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more at Good Morning La La Land.
Hi, world. We are behind the scenes here at the Focus TV network.
This is my first time ever going live. Really?
I've never gone live.
Okay, good. So I'm glad. See, we're finally live.
Yeah.
This is good.
Thank you, Erica.
Yeah, girl.
For making it happen.
Also, follow at _Erica Delica. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna cut it off.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
No, just put it in the middle.
Yeah! Dum 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 dum.
Are you asking what my nationality? Oh, I'm Mexican and Russian.
I'm Mexican and Spanish. A little Irish in there.
All the colors of the white rainbow.
Exactly. All the colors of the Blanco rainbow. That means white in Spanish.
Good job.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets, a completely, no, hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over? And this is my secret to golden, no, sorry. Just retrain your brain for the positive. Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard. Oh my God, such the process. I got it. Yes, a golden secret. It's no longer a golden secret.
This one live? I can't wait to do it live. I haven't had a chance to do it really tight.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. We are getting close up today with music. We love music. How much do we love music? With Kenneth Clark is in the house, bringing his single here, dropping it right here. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day.
Man, I'm blessed. I'm super excited to be here. So yeah.
Right.
Well, Spotify named you one of 2019's artists to watch.
Oh man, God is good. Yeah, I mean, you know, I got some cool releases coming up, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, kudos to Spotify.
Right?
Right? That would be my hashtag for every single post.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about it. You're a man of faith.
Yes.
Been in LA for 4 years. You kind of gave everything. You went, I'm just doing it. I don't know how I'm going.
Okay.
Packed it up, came out.
Yeah.
Tell us about that journey.
Oh man, it was pretty interesting, but it took all faith. All faith. I mean, packing my car up with just a few things I had and just driving across the whole country.
What were you doing right before you moved? Yeah, before you decided to move.
I was working. I was working. I was in group at the time, and yeah, I was just clocking in every day and doing that.
Yeah.
And then opportunity came, and it was just like, okay, so am I going to stay here in New York, or am I going to take a chance, take the step of faith, pack my things, and just kind of go?
Yeah.
And that's really what happened. I was just on go, and I went.
And the opportunity was good. Was it great enough for it to be an obvious decision, or was it like,
I just
feels a
knew
little risky still?
It was a sense where my existence in New York still, I mean, born and raised, I love it, but still staying there, I felt would have hindered me. I felt I needed to be in California at the time. There was something I needed to get in LA, so.
Yeah, you got the call.
Yeah. Got the call.
Got the call.
Had to answer the call.
So when you get to LA, how did you get to this place where, Spotify's Artist of the Year? How does that, or Artist to Watch?
So long story shorter, basically, some situations happened, some opportunities came, things did not go as planned, obviously, and God took me a different course. And when that happened, that's when these opportunities started to open up, and I started to change my sound and kind of contour the music that I was creating toward my life testimony, and also to inspire others. As well,
The show's really about, we want to showcase faith in a different way by just showcasing stories, showcasing people's trials and triumphs and what they've overcome. What does faith mean to you?
Well, faith to me means, faith in itself is, you know, is the evidence of things that's, you know, you want to, how can I say this? I want to make sure I say this correctly. It's unseen. You don't know, right? You don't have an idea, but you just have an unction. So you just know you have to take that first step. You know, you
Martin
may not.
Luther King said, faith is the stair, taking the first step of the stair without seeing the whole staircase.
Exactly. You know, it's just like, okay, you just know, and then in your spirit, you're like, okay, I need to take this step of faith. I need to believe. It's really about believing at the end of the day, too. You know, believing that there's something good on that other side.
So people have said you're somewhere between Chris Brown meets Jason Derulo at a Sunday service. How would you describe your style?
I guess you can say it has some of those characteristics. I mean, Chris Brown is an awesome artist. Jason Derulo, these guys are awesome. Really top 40 pop, you know, infused. The sound that I like to go for is a fusion of a lot of different genres. So not just R&B or hip hop or, you know, pop. I mean, there was one year I dove into EDM pretty hard before I decided to, you know, change it to the faith base. But now it's just a plethora of all of those sounds. So there may have some trap beats or trap drums rather, but then it'll also have, you know, maybe some R&B melody, some pop 4 to the floor, break into the hook, drop, and now everyone's jumping.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
Listen to it, then you get it.
You dropped it right here. That's all I know.
So was it hard? So, you know, one of the things that I love about your music, in addition to it being just so phenomenal and so clean and crisp, there's a sound to it, is that you do embrace this sort of conscious conversation, right? Was that a difficult decision for you to make? Because a lot of artists and rappers especially, but and R&B artists, they struggle with that. They want to make conscious music, but they feel limited by what other people are doing and saying. Was that a difficult decision for you to make?
It really wasn't difficult in a sense because as my life changed, as things started to shift, my music had to change. So I couldn't, you know, sing about the same stuff anymore. You know, and I lived the, you know, I experienced the LA party life, so it's rather crazy. But it just, you know, as I started to grow, I knew the music had to grow and music had to change too. But I didn't want to lose who I was. I didn't want to, you know, lose, you know, whether it's the way I kind of, you know, hop on a record or you know how I write it. So, you know, I was blessed to have the idea that God gave me to create this sound. So with the first project, you know, I entitled it AWOL, right? So we all know the definition of, you know, someone going AWOL. But then I acronymed it, you know, another way of living. So it's also AWOL to the sound you're used to hearing in the faith-based genre or Christian, whatever you want to call it.
So important right now. So important, right?
There's a lot of emerging artists that are now like, hey, I'm going to stand bold too in what I believe in and not bend for the industry requirements or what they think is cool or not. I'm just going to do it. And, you know, they're winning. I mean, one prime artist I can talk about, I mean, we could talk about him all day, is like Lecrae. He's the leading Christian rapper, or whatever way you want to, you know, describe who, you know, whatever genre you want to fit him in. You know, but he started that out early. You know, he said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a rapper. I can rap, but I'm gonna rap about the message that's true to me."
That's right.
That's it.
I love that.
So tell people where they can find your message and where they can follow your personal journey.
Yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Kenneth Clark. I always say Kenneth with a K. It's like tennis with a K, but it's Kennis Clark. Spotify, Kenneth Clark. You know, Apple Music, Kenneth Clark. Got some great new sounds coming through this year.
When are you performing live?
When am I performing live? Right now, we're working out the schedule this year. So, it's, you know, I'm in transition between, you know, just a few different projects. But
I want to give a shout out to Steve Allen PR as well.
And Celebs Work.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Freaking awesome. Really awesome. Love your heart. Really dope.
And it's never too late to start. The worst thing in the world that anyone could have is regret. And I have come across and had conversations with people in their 70s and their 80s and their 90s. And the number one thing that I hear from them is regret. I wish I would have done this. Or do you know, I had the opportunity to be a dancer or to be a singer or to be able to move, you know, my family across the country to be able to live in this area or this industry. It's never too late, no matter what your age. Doesn't matter if you're young, it doesn't matter if you're older. I'm Life Master Tony Lanny, and you're watching Life Masters.
Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Memi and I'm the founder of Life Masters. Life Masters is an online platform where you can have access to people who are passionate, positive thinkers, and want to help people live better lives. If you want to be a Life Master, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to have you on our show. You do a one-on-one interview with me, and then you share with us some of your most golden nuggets of information to help change people and create the best life that they can create possible. So we'd love to have you be a part of the family, part of the show. Life Masters. Come and join us.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. On this day of love, we're welcoming the art of charm. Thanks so much for being here with us, AJ and Johnny.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys look sharp as always.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep up with you.
Oh man, you don't have to do that at all. I take notes from you guys.
So how do you define the art of charm?
Well, it all comes down to social skills, and we know that happiness in our life comes honestly from relationships, our ability to connect with one another. So we find that a lot of us struggle with socializing these days, especially with these devices in our pocket. So we're all about deepening relationships and allowing people to feel comfortable in social situations.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are really experts at that, both personally and professionally. They've had on their show Kobe Bryant, Sugar Ray Leonard, and a ton of experts, including yours truly. But you've had really phenomenal experts around relationships, particularly as well. So can you share with us some of the things you've learned from those relationship experts or even happiness experts?
Well, I think, you know, one of our favorite topics has been the emotional bids topic. That was a few months ago. And for a lot of us, we tend to miss those because we're so focused on ourselves or whatever anxiety that we have going on, and we miss those cues from the people that we want to be bonding with. Yeah. And that can be difficult. And I know the response from those shows have been probably some of our best
Explain it
received.
a little bit further. The emotional what?
Bid.
Emotional bid, yeah.
You're speaking to John Gottman's work, right?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and we all have these little moments where we're trying to emotionally connect with one another, and unfortunately a lot of us are not good listeners, so we miss these moments
Like
when someone
me,
in our
right
lives. So when we miss those emotional connections, we're really missing an opportunity to connect with someone. So these little bids are opportunities for excitement, sharing in that emotion with one another.
Right. But you guys have been doing this for 12 years together, which I think says a ton because, like, I mean, today is a day of love, and we have so many different expressions, and a lot of it is our friends. And you guys have done this. Has it been hard? Have you had some hiccups? How have you worked through it? It's like a marriage, right?
Absolutely. I mean, but the fun of it and creating something that we felt was special always took us through the tough times of any struggles that we had as a business starting out.
And as an introvert myself, like I've gone through these struggles and trying to find the science behind how do I get better with social skills. And it's really not something we learn in school, right? There are no classes for it, and a lot of people feel they're either born with it or they struggle with it. And we've really focused on teaching it.
Right. These two are really good at it. I'm not as socially apt as these guys. I'm much more, my mom's really blunt, and so I've had like what did you just say? You know, like I'm trying to like get more socialized. But they're like very talented at it. And you know, and watching the guests come in after 950 guests, you know, you watch people, and some people are very talented at it. Can you develop skills in this?
Absolutely. Through experience, you can practice and use these listening skills with in situations where we're feeling that nervous energy. So it's channeling the nervous energy in the right way. And then through practice and repetition, getting more experience socializing. I think a lot of us, when we feel that anxiety, we tend to close ourselves off. We make ourselves smaller. We go to our phone. We have these safety mechanisms to block us from interaction. And we're all about practicing. So we've built a week-long program where you can come stay with us here in LA and get the experience practicing all of these listening skills, social skills, and ultimately connect.
School of Charm, right?
Exactly.
That's right. So I love this, and I think, you know, it seems so obvious that active listening is something we should all know how to do, but it goes a little deeper than just simply listening. Could you describe what active listening really is? Because I think a lot of people think it's one thing where you're just sort of hearing the words, but it's so much deeper than that.
Well, it's certainly about being present in the moment and focusing on the other person. And I think a lot of us all like to feel that we're pretty good at listening. It's certainly easy when we're with our friends, when we're comfortable with people that we love. But when we're at a social engagement where we have some anxiety or some nervousness going on, listening goes right out the window. It's the first thing that leaves us. We're too focused on ourselves, what's going on, what we're going to come up with, what we're going to be saying next. And because of that, we're unable to focus on the other person.
Interesting. You know, in spiritual work and conscious work, I think, because one of the things I do get is you're a great listener. It's one of the most common. And I think that for me, it was when I did my own work and was able to kind of quiet my mind, then I became a much better listener. Out of the experts that you've interviewed, what are those processes? What do they say? How do you become a great listener?
So there's 5 levels to listening, and this was really enlightening for us. We had a guest on, Oscar Trimboli, who taught us this. And basically, the first level is your own voice in your head, that inner monologue that we all have. And mindfulness, meditation quiets that. The second level is the other people's words. Obviously, their words matter. The third level is their emotions behind those words. And we're usually going to be listening to that through their body language, right? You can tell by facial expressions what someone's feeling on the inside. The fourth level is what's unsaid. So there are times where you're going to be selective with your words and not say certain things. And then the fifth and final level is the ultimate meaning behind it. So when we want to practice listening, we want to be reflective after that conversation and see if we can pick up on what was the emotion, what was the meaning there. And as we practice this over and over, we can be more present in those conversations.
So important. I think there's nothing worse than when you're with somebody or even on a date or whatever, and someone just, they don't listen. It's like they're having a conversation with themselves. It doesn't even matter what happens over there. They just keep having the conversation and keep dominating the conversation. So important. Do you guys help people with that? Like, is it, I kind of got a little bit that you deal with people helping them date as well, right?
Yeah, we help in all relationships, platonic, romantic, and professional. And a lot of us, when we struggle in one of those areas, we're usually struggling in all of those areas. So we're struggling to listen at work, we're struggling to listen with our friends, and we're struggling to listen romantically.
Listen to ourselves.
And also, so many people are afraid of having that silent moment in that awkward first date, so they arm themselves to the teeth with whatever information on the other person they can find. Certainly going through social media and having all these things to talk about, so they could just blurt it out and feel safe in that moment, because it's in those moments where silence that both parties have to deal with what's going on inside at that moment.
Wow, you just described so much, man. When I first started dating, I would literally go to the bathroom just to breathe and sit there, because I was like, the sound of silence was so sweet to me, I just couldn't help it. I was like, wow, this is the best part of the date. It's just when it was completely quiet. And I think you're so right about that. Being able to sit sort of in discomfort of that silence is everything. You're a fuller, more authentic way, I think.
Certainly.
Right.
Oh, I'll never forget, I was on a date with a guy, and I recognized about 15 minutes in, he's not listening to a word I'm saying. So, in the same tone, I threw out, oh, I've had a great day, and you're not listening to a word I'm saying, are you? But you're going to just ask me, just kind of trying to be clever. He didn't pick up on it. He just kept spewing these questions, and I thought, you really are not listening at all. And so finally, I called him out. I said, well, hang on a second. I don't think you're hearing a word I'm saying at all. And he didn't even realize it.
So it's so incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
Nervous.
So you guys have obviously, this is a theme that you've woven into the podcast, the program. What would you say have been the highlights of your podcast and your program? You guys have been, have this sort of track record of success with both, and I'm just wondering what especially is memorable for you from each.
I think certainly the learning that we've been able to do, because we always do topics that we want to be better versed in.
Yeah.
So that's always been fun. And of course, meeting certainly some heroes of ours. For myself, we've had David Goggin on, who was wonderful. And of course, Kobe this week.
Yeah, for me, I love the science of it. So I was in graduate school before we started the podcast and the coaching company, so I've always had a science background. So be able to pick a topic like habits was a theme we had on the show, and go deep into the science behind building habits. And then we followed it up with happiness to start the year, and getting the science behind happiness. And you were a guest on that month, so it's been a lot of fun to really do a deep dive and learn this stuff.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave that studio. But I'm gonna tell you, between the conversation, the view, because they have the most spectacular view, which I think is actually a perfect metaphor for the perspective shifting work that you guys do.
Sure.
I wonder, what did you learn from David Goggins? My brother's obsessed with David Goggins. What did you learn from him?
Certainly we were talking earlier about our morning routine, and for me, David had a large impact on that. And it was about the sacrifice of that hour every morning of it not being pleasant, but having the ultimate a lift on the rest of my day. If you could go through that in the morning, then the rest of your day is cake. And of course, it's a small price to pay for feeling good and being emotionally and mentally well.
I love that.
I mean, as an ultra marathoner, someone who beats his body up, to still hear that he struggles with discipline, to still hear that he's human like us, you know, is really enlightening to understand that we all have our struggles and discipline is a big part of reaching our success.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know, David Goggin is a guy who runs 50 miles like a day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just incredibly resilient, but also incredibly vulnerable about how tough it's been for him. So I just love that.
I love that. I love it.
So where can people follow you and work with this art of charm?
At The Art of Charm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can find us at theartofcharm.com.
And you have a podcast every Monday, right?
Every Monday the
All
podcast
right.
comes out. Yeah.
Love it.
So appreciate
You'll
you guys.
be on next Monday.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you for
appreciate
having
you
us.
guys. Genuinely.
Rob,
Thank
next
you.
Monday on The Art of Charm. Stay tuned. We're back tomorrow. Good morning, LALALAND.
Together, empowering women everywhere.
But we need to
globally.
know, since we have Ian on, is there any really good stories from the past that you guys are willing to share with everyone today? I mean, like,
Well, now that you say that, as his friend, I cannot answer that question.
Go ahead.
Plead the
What do you got?
fifth.
What do you got?
Oh, I got a lot.
Oh, do you?
No. He's so great. Like, and we were honestly, like, outside of work, we were really good friends. Like,
Yeah.
we used to go out and hang out, and he's a good boy. He's a mad dancer, I gotta tell you. You still are, though. But he used to bust out some moves.
I can say this. First of all, people don't know, but you're beautiful on screen, but you're hotter in person.
Thank you.
And we need more Maria Conchita Alonsos in this world.
I think so.
You do. You give your heart. You have this talent, but you give and you help
Well,
people.
Because if people knew how good it feels
Oh.
when you help, when you are saving a life, when you are helping to save a life, if they knew how good it feels,
It
it's
feels
just
better
even
to
to
people.
make you feel good.
I know.
You're gonna
make me cry now.
No, that's okay. It's
It's
okay.
the truth.
Mic check, mic check.
Well, thank you so much for coming and doing my job for me.
Hey, no problem. You know, I'm really excited about it. I love going on shows and taking over as the host. It's really fun.
I really love it. I'm just going to
Yeah,
sit
you
back.
just sit
If
back.
you could just ask yourself and answer
I
some
will.
questions.
I'm gonna ask myself some questions. You can just kind of sit there and react with your face as I go through.
I'm introducing an Emmy Award-winning host. I better frickin' get this right.
You knocked it out of the park. You did a great job.
I'm so good at what I do, aren't I?
Okay. I hope you're filming right now.
These are the things. Those are the things you have to get.
The outtakes are the best.
I know.
We kind of like having her here.
Yeah, she's like, so much good morning, LALALAND. We've got things to do.
Room to yourself.
That's right. I love that.
So tell us about the proper way to actually taste this wine.
Put it in your mouth. I love you. That's my kind of winemaker.
LOL. As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at EverTalk TV, and I'm so excited to share this journey experience with you. Visit evertalktv.com for your free 30-day subscription. EverTalk TV, anytime, anywhere. What an incredible week here at EverTalk TV. I'm Jasmine Moyer, and we'll see you next time. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LALALAND. You may be too busy, but you are never too busy to be your best self. So I'm so excited to welcome the founder of Splendid Spoon, Nicole Centeno, to the show. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're so excited. I am a soup lover. And on Valentine's Day, for me, soup makes all the sense because that is a way I can love myself. And I love soup.
Yeah. It's, you know, today's world is, we're all so busy, and it's like every day is like a challenge. I'm like, how am I going to get the food in and not eat too much junk and get some nutrition? Tell us about how you came up with this brilliant plan of nutritious food that's easy and on the go.
Yeah, I mean, Splendid Spoon shows you that busy can be healthy. And I really created Splendid Spoon for anyone that was kind of like sick of fad diets and really wanted to commit to making their life a little bit easier through food. So I was pregnant with my first son. It's a moment where you really like kind of put a lens on yourself, what you're eating. I, like many women, have a long history with food, so I had studied diet therapies when I was in college. I had gone to culinary school. I had also battled with an eating disorder. And when I was pregnant, I felt like, what is the best way for me to take care of myself with food? And it's through habits. It's through kind of like the common wisdom that just eating more vegetables, doing it really simply, taking a little bit more time for yourself in the midst of your really busy day has this hugely profound impact on how you feel and how you function.
Fantastic, love that, and love some soup. So what do you bring today?
So I brought you guys some of our breakfast smoothies, which are lower sugar smoothies. We have our carrot ginger chia, which is one of my faves. The cacao almond, which is definitely a customer favorite. We also have some of our soups. We have our Buddha bowl, we have our masala khichdi. So we have over 40 different flavors. The idea is that there's lots of variety. They're really all designed for kind of like your 9-to-5 grind. So whether you're a mom at home and you're with your kids trying to kind of like, you know, find 1 minute for yourself to feed yourself or take a shower, I've certainly been there.
Literally,
yeah. Like, you know that feeling? It's like, I have 2 minutes, what do I do? The food is ready for you, right? So no chopping, no measuring, no like sort of negotiating with yourself. Do I have a granola bar, or do I order something, or do I take the extra 15 minutes to make it for myself? It counts, it matters a lot. Like during the day, we're sort of moving from chore to chore, and our technology is pushing us to be ever more productive. If you have something truly nourishing that's really filled with great ingredients, you give yourself clean fuel and you feel a lot better.
So you offer these soups as a subscription service, correct?
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so again, like it's really designed for building these great habits. So we are a subscription service. You can get them delivered to your home. We deliver everywhere. We're based in New York, but we have lots of customers in literally every state of the US now, which is super, super exciting. They come right to your home. They come in a beautiful box, insulated, with some information about how to enjoy it, which is basically just pop it in the microwave or open the bottle and enjoy when hungry.
And is it one size fits all? Do you pick your program? How long does it take to ship?
Yes, so the programs are really based on just how many, whether you want breakfast, whether you want lunch. We have a reset day, which is really beautiful for like after the holiday season, or I think all of us really enjoy food as not just fuel, but also as like a cultural and community experience, right?
Yeah.
Connecting with people when we go out to eat. And I really think it's important to encourage that. And I also think sometimes we go a little bit. And so a reset day is a way for us to take care of all of that food for you, one full day. You can add that into your program as well. But yeah, it's really just, it's designed to be the go-to meal for you when you're too busy to think for yourself.
And are your soups available on retail at all?
No, it's all direct to consumer. So splendidspoon.com. We actually have a special code for LALALAND watchers.
Yes. What's the code?
It's splendid.2/LALALAND.
Love it.
Oh, splendid to LALALAND. Well, thank you so much. Let's try it.
Yeah, so this is one of my faves. This is our carrot ginger smoothie.
Oh, right.
You can drink it right out of the bottle, of course.
Oh,
but I'll
man,
give
I
you
love
guys
ginger,
some samples.
Can you drink all the soups right out of the bottle?
So these are the smoothies. So they're really like, I pop one in my bag and I drink it on my way into work, or you can leave it in your fridge at work and pull it out as a snack. The soups are, everything's refrigerated, and the soups are ready to go right into the microwave. So either a mug or the containers are BPA free and can go in the microwave.
That's really good.
Wow.
That's really good.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
So sign me up.
It's a nice consistency.
Congratulations.
As an entrepreneur, what's that experience been like for you?
You know, I think being an entrepreneur is kind of like, maybe like a condition.
It is.
Completely.
It's like an anxiety disorder.
It's like my way of navigating the world is by learning as I go, and there aren't really that many experiences that allow me to do that other than building my own business and building my team, and having lots of different unexpected challenges is both difficult and really rewarding for me.
What have you learned from those challenges?
You know, I think that human beings are really, really resilient. That if you can be flexible, that if you can take some time to really like be centered in your moments of discomfort, that you break through and you find new meaning and you find solutions and you can collaborate with people. And that's a really beautiful thing. And I have 2 boys and they're really little, they're 4 and 5, and they now are kind of like getting to see that I have this business, and that's a really kind of like next level for me that I'm super proud of.
So fun.
I've got a little bit of a strange question. Let's say you're down to your last $3,000, because I get asked this question a lot. If you're down to your last $3,000, okay, as a business owner or an aspiring entrepreneur,
Been there.
Where do you spend it? Where do you spend it? You know?
On your team.
On your team.
On your
Yeah.
team.
So it's hiring the right people.
Totally.
Love that.
And just giving them soup.
One of the perks of working for Splendid Spoon, we are hiring, just FYI, is that, we feed our people and we take time to practice yoga with each other, and you feed your people and they'll give back to you tenfold.
I love that. That's why I show up every day in the
That's
studio.
right.
Food, drinks here.
Let people know how they can get involved.
Yeah, so splendidspoon.com, and if you're watching, splendid.to/LALALAND, and you'll get a nice $25 off your first order. It'll go right into your cart. And then we're also on Instagram, Splendid Spoon NY, although because we started in New York, we've kind of like held on to that. We ship everywhere.
Nice.
And I'm Niccent, Niccent.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having
We'll be
me.
right back.
It is splendid.
I don't know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day, but we have had a full Valentine's Day already. We had movies, sex, soup, music, and charm today. That's a full Valentine's Day.
Oh, my favorite thing.
I know, right? You have a full life really right there. So question of the day for each of you is, what is love, or who has inspired you to love more or love better in your life? So, yeah.
Start over here.
I guess I have to start. I have the mic. My kids have inspired me. My boys have inspired me to love.
Oh, thank you.
Kids, true love.
All of my fans have inspired me to love harder and more excellently because they make me the best I can be.
I'm gonna go with my kids and also my boyfriend. Those are the people who let me just be myself.
Ah, yes.
Love for me is just, exuding positivity and embracing that we're all human. We all come from the same place. And who's inspired me to just love better is just God and how He loves us.
Ah,
yeah.
Boom.
Nice.
Love it.
Certainly for myself, anything that you can put above yourself becomes something you can love.
Love for me is acceptance, and I'm very happy to have a special Valentine with Amy this evening.
Love that.
Love for me is LaLaLand. We are live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. All these interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes. We're going to miss you tomorrow, but we will be back on Monday.
Yeah, we are waking up the world together. Have a great day of love, you guys. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and follow these incredible human beings.
It's going to be a good morning, LaLaLand. Cheers!